The human princess was surrounded by enemies, yet she never retreated. The citadel, a towering fortress of steel and glass, stood alone on the rocky surface, its walls scarred from decades of conflicts, yet still proud. Inside, Princess Alara walked along the corridors, her steps echoing against the cold stone. Her mind raced, not with fear but with calculation. The enemy had surrounded the planet, and every one of their warships outnumbered the humans in the citadel by 10 to 1. Still, Alara did not panic. Retreat was never an option. She reached the observation deck, where the enormous window stretched to the horizon. There, she saw the alien fleet hovering, ready to strike. Their ships were unlike anything humans had ever faced, sleek, dark, and covered with strange patterns that glowed faintly. Each craft radiated power and menace. Yet Alara's gaze did not waver. She saw the flaws, the gaps in formation, the moments of hesitation. The humans inside the citadel had trained for years for this moment, and she would use every advantage they had. "Alara," said Commander Joran, approaching from behind, his uniform tight and neat despite the tension. "Sensors report multiple dropships preparing to land troops. They are coordinating attacks from all sides. If they break through the walls—" His voice trailed off, but Alara had already understood. "They will not break through," she said firmly. "Not while we are here." Her eyes flicked to the central console, where maps and schematics of the surrounding terrain glowed. "We know their patterns, we know how they think, and we have something they do not." Joran raised an eyebrow. "And what is that?" Alara smiled faintly. "Humans do not surrender." In the command room below, the human soldiers were preparing defenses. Engineers worked rapidly, reinforcing turrets, adjusting the energy shields, and synchronizing communication systems. Every man and woman in the citadel moved with a sense of purpose. Despite being outnumbered, they had the confidence of those who knew they had survived worse. Alara walked among them, checking on each group, giving orders and offering encouragement. Her presence alone seemed to inspire courage. "Focus on the main gate," she told a group of soldiers. "Do not waste energy on smaller drones. Hold the line, watch the patterns." Human strategy always has the edge when you think ahead. Outside, the alien ships began to move closer. Massive shadowy forms drifted into position, their weapons glowing with dangerous energy. The aliens communicated in a language that hummed with vibration, too low for human ears to understand. Yet the meaning was clear: surrender or face annihilation. Alara turned to Joran, her voice steady. "They underestimate us because we are human. They think strength comes from size and technology, but strategy, courage, and creativity, these are human strengths. They cannot predict what they cannot understand." The first strike came suddenly. A massive beam of energy swept across the outer wall of the citadel. Sparks flew and alarms blared. Soldiers scrambled to man their positions, firing back with plasma cannons and missile turrets. But the beam was far more powerful than anything they had encountered before. It carved through metal like it was paper, striking fear into many who watched. Alara did not flinch. She moved to the control panel that activated the citadel's energy shield. The shield hummed to life, forming a protective dome over the fortress. The alien beam struck the shield, and for a moment the entire citadel shook. But the shield held. The aliens were surprised. In their arrogance, they had assumed that humans would break at the first display of power. Yet here was a princess, a single human standing firm in the face of impossible odds. Inside the command room, Alara studied the readings. She noticed a flaw, a pattern in the alien attacks. They moved in predictable cycles, their energy pulses timed to specific intervals. She quickly relayed instructions to the engineers. "Shift the shield frequency. Intermittent pulses will confuse their targeting. Use their momentum against them." The soldiers worked rapidly, following her commands. Outside, the alien attacks faltered as their beams missed or struck empty air. The humans seized the opportunity to fire back, targeting the alien landing zones. Small explosions erupted on the rocky surface, throwing alien troops into disarray. Joran shook his head in disbelief. "I did not think it possible. They are regrouping already." Alara's eyes glinted with determination. "It is always possible when you refuse to give in." Hours passed, and the alien fleet continued their assault, but the humans held. Alara never left the command room. She coordinated every move, anticipating enemy tactics and adjusting human defenses in real time. Soldiers who had grown tired, frightened, or doubtful drew strength from her confidence. As night fell on Vera 9, the battle continued under the strange glow of the alien ships. The sky was filled with streaks of light as energy beams clashed. Yet within the citadel, a sense of calm prevailed. The humans were not just surviving, they were resisting, and they had the advantage of knowing their own minds and limits better than any alien could. In the midst of the chaos, Alara turned her attention to a device she had long kept secret. It was small, yet complex, built from human ingenuity and years of research. Scientists had told her it could create an energy pulse strong enough to disrupt enemy systems, but none had dared test it on a battlefield. This is the moment, she thought. She activated the device, and a low hum began, growing louder, resonating through the walls. The alien ships paused, their sensors flickering in confusion. One by one, their weapons faltered, then shut down entirely. The humans watched in awe as the device projected a field of energy into the sky, shimmering like a second sun. The aliens panicked, unsure what was happening. Their precision was gone, their confidence shaken. Alara did not allow herself a moment of relief. She knew this was only the first strike. The aliens would adapt and they would not give up. But for now, humanity had shown that even when surrounded, they could stand and fight. She walked back to the observation deck and looked out at the alien fleet. Their numbers were vast, their weapons deadly, but they were not invincible. Humans had always thrived in adversity. They had survived deserts, oceans, wars, and the void of space. They had built cities, discovered stars, and reached for the heavens. And now, on Vera 9, they would survive again. A faint vibration ran through the floor. Joran entered, his face tense but respectful. "Your Highness, reinforcements are arriving. Reports indicate several allied fleets are on the move, drawn by your courage. They may not arrive in time for the first wave, but your resistance has already given hope across the system." Alara nodded, a determined smile on her lips. "Then we will hold, and we will show them that humans never retreat." Outside, the alien fleet gathered again, their glowing eyes and weapons turning toward the citadel. But inside, the humans were ready. With Alara at the helm, their minds sharp and spirits unbroken, they would fight. They would survive. They would show the galaxy that courage and ingenuity were more powerful than fear. As the first lights of the human defenses flared against the dark expanse of space, Alara whispered to herself, "No matter how many enemies come, we will not fall. We will endure. We are human and we never give up." The battle for Vera 9 had only begun, but humanity had already made its stand. And Princess Alara, calm and fearless, would ensure that the legend of humans surviving against impossible odds would grow. The aliens might have weapons, numbers, and power, but humans had something more: the will to fight, to survive, and to triumph. The night over Vera 9 was filled with the hum of energy shields and distant explosions, but within the citadel, Princess Alara remained calm. The human soldiers were still tense, but they moved with precision now, guided by her confidence. Every turret was manned, every squad in position, every energy shield monitored. The aliens had struck first, but their surprise had been turned against them. The device Alara had activated not only disrupted their attacks, it revealed a new truth. Human strategy was unpredictable, and in unpredictability lay strength. Outside, the alien fleet regrouped, their ships forming new patterns in the sky. They studied the citadel, trying to find weaknesses. Their pilots and commanders communicated in low-frequency hums and pulses that humans could not interpret, but Alara did not need their language. She read their movements, watched the energy signatures, and anticipated the next wave. "Highness," said Commander Joran, bowing slightly, "their dropships are preparing again. Sensors show coordinated attacks on multiple sectors. They are adjusting to our shields. If we do not act fast, they will land troops behind our walls." Alara nodded, her mind working quickly. "We will not let them. Prepare the secondary defenses, reinforce the corridors, use every human advantage, speed, improvisation, and understanding of terrain. They may have numbers, but we have intellect and determination." The soldiers moved swiftly, carrying heavy panels and equipment. Engineers rewired energy conduits to power emergency turrets. Scientists monitored alien communications, searching for patterns. The humans worked as one, each knowing that failure was not an option. As the alien dropships descended, Alara gave the signal. Barricades and traps, hidden in the rocky terrain, were activated. When the first wave of alien soldiers landed, they were met with unexpected resistance. Spike barricades rose from the ground. Automated turrets fired with deadly precision. Mines exploded in calculated sequences. The aliens stumbled, unprepared for such clever human defenses. Some tried to advance, only to be caught in energy nets that lifted them into the air and held them immobilized. Others retreated in confusion, their disciplined formations breaking under the pressure of creative human tactics. Alara watched from the observation deck, her heart steady. This was the power of human adaptability. The aliens had expected brute force, predictable movements, and fear. Instead, they faced ingenuity and courage. Every soldier in the Citadel was human, and every human had the ability to think, to adapt, and to overcome. Hours passed as the battle continued. Explosions lit the night, and the hum of shields vibrated through the Citadel. The aliens tried every strategy they could, yet the humans remained one step ahead. Alara coordinated every movement, sometimes predicting an attack before it even began. She directed energy pulses to disrupt alien weapons, rerouted shields to block advancing troops, and even ordered counterattacks that pushed enemy squads back to their landing zones. "Princess," Joran said, pointing to a dark shape moving along the northern wall, "we have an infiltrator. One of their elite units has found a weak point in our defenses. If they reach the control room, it could be catastrophic." Alara's expression did not change. She moved to the main tactical console, her fingers flying over the controls. "I expected this. Prepare the traps. Activate the containment field in the northern corridor. We will not let them near the heart of the Citadel." The infiltrator moved with skill, avoiding patrols and scanning for vulnerabilities. Yet the humans had prepared for this. Automated barriers rose in his path, energy grids flared to life, and a network of sensors tracked his every move. Alara guided the soldiers to intercept him, giving precise instructions on timing and positioning. When the infiltrator finally reached the corridor, he found himself surrounded. Human soldiers emerged from hidden panels, their weapons trained. The alien hesitated, calculating, but it was too late. Alara had anticipated his every step. With a combination of traps and human tactics, the elite alien unit was captured without a single human casualty. The victory was small but significant. The humans had proven that courage and strategy could outmatch even the most skilled enemy. Alara addressed her soldiers, her voice calm yet commanding. "Every step you take, every decision you make, shows that humans do not surrender. Today we defend not just a citadel, but the honor of our people. Stand proud, for you are the living proof that intelligence, courage, and unity can overcome any obstacle." Encouraged by her words, the soldiers returned to their positions with renewed energy. Engineers repaired damaged turrets, scientists monitored enemy movements, and scouts reported on distant alien positions. Humans were not just defending, they were learning, adapting, and preparing for the next wave. Meanwhile, the alien fleet above continued to regroup. They had never encountered humans like this before. Other civilizations had surrendered at the first threat or been destroyed in the first strike. But the humans on Vera 9 were different. Their leaders thought quickly, their soldiers were resourceful, and their technology, though inferior in raw power, was wielded with intelligence. The aliens began to realize that this battle would not be won by force alone. As the hours dragged on, Alara continued to oversee the defenses. She walked among her soldiers, checking their positions, answering questions, and offering encouragement. Her presence was a symbol of strength. Even when fatigue set in, the humans found courage in her calm determination. Late into the night, new waves of alien dropships appeared. They had changed tactics, attempting to land in areas previously considered safe. Alara, anticipating this, had already prepared countermeasures. She activated mobile turrets hidden in the rocky terrain, directing them to target the advancing ships. Mines buried beneath the surface erupted, sending alien troops flying. Energy nets ensnared squads, immobilizing them before they could strike. The aliens struggled to adapt. Their usual confidence was shaken by the unpredictability of human strategy. For every step they took, the humans were already there, waiting, prepared, and resolute. During a brief lull, Joran approached Alara, his face weary but determined. "Your Highness, reports indicate that more human reinforcements are on the way. Other systems have begun to respond to our call for aid." If we can hold out a little longer, we may turn this battle in our favor. Alara nodded, her mind already planning. We will hold, but we cannot wait passively. We must continue to be unpredictable. We must show them that humans are not easily cornered. Every move we make must be clever, every action deliberate. The night deepened and the battle continued. Explosions shook the citadel, lighting up the rocky landscape. Soldiers moved tirelessly, guided by Alara's calm yet commanding presence. The aliens, frustrated and confused, began to make mistakes. They underestimated human creativity and endurance, thinking that fatigue or fear would break their opponents. But the humans did not break. They adapted, learned, and improved with every strike. At one point, an alien warship attempted a direct assault on the main gate. It fired a massive energy cannon, capable of breaching the citadel walls. But Alara, anticipating this, had rerouted the shield energy to the gate, absorbing the blast. The energy reflected back, damaging the alien ship and forcing it to retreat. Soldiers cheered, though quietly, knowing that the battle was far from over. Hours later, a scout reported movement on a distant ridge. "Princess," said the scout, "we have detected enemy reinforcements approaching from the east. They are faster than their main fleet, attempting to flank us." Alara considered this. "Prepare the eastern perimeter. Use the terrain to our advantage. Set traps along the path and position snipers to delay them. Humans may be outnumbered, but we will not be outwitted." As dawn approached, the alien fleet seemed to falter. Their attacks were less coordinated, their confidence shaken. Humans held the citadel firmly. Even as exhaustion set in, their determination never wavered. Each soldier knew that they fought not only for survival, but for the future of humanity. Alara walked to the observation deck one last time before sunrise. The sky was painted with the first light of a new day, and the alien ships were still gathering in the distance. She knew that this battle was far from over, but the humans had already shown their strength. With courage, intelligence, and unity, they could withstand anything. Turning to Joran, she said, "We have proven something tonight, that humans, even when surrounded, can stand against impossible odds. But we cannot stop now. We must continue to fight, continue to adapt, and continue to show that we never retreat." Joran bowed slightly. "Yes, Your Highness, we will follow your command and we will not fail." Alara's eyes met the horizon, where alien ships shimmered in the early morning light. "Then let them come. Every enemy that believes they can crush us will see what humans are capable of. We are more than strength or numbers. We are courage, intelligence, and determination, and we will never surrender." The day had begun, and with it, a new chapter in the battle for Vera 9. The aliens had underestimated humans, as they always did, and that would be their greatest mistake. Princess Alara, standing calm and fearless, prepared her people for whatever was to come. They had survived the night, and now they would fight the day. The human spirit, resilient and unyielding, burned brighter than any weapon in the galaxy. And as the first rays of the sun touched the citadel, the humans of Vera 9 stood ready, united, and unbroken, waiting for the next wave of enemies to make the mistake of underestimating them. The morning sun glimmered on the jagged cliffs of Vera 9, reflecting off the citadel's walls, yet there was no time to admire the view. Princess Alara stood on the observation deck, her eyes scanning the horizon where the alien fleet still loomed. After the night of relentless attacks, it might have seemed that the humans had a chance to catch their breath, but Alara knew better. The aliens were reorganizing. Their frustration had turned into determination. They would strike again, and this time they would come with greater force. Commander Joran approached, his expression serious. "Your Highness, the eastern reinforcements we anticipated are arriving. They are moving faster than expected. If we do not act quickly, they might flank us before we can complete our defenses." Alara nodded, her mind already moving. "Then we will not wait. Mobilize the scouts and prepare the intercept units. We will meet them before they reach our walls. Humans survive by being proactive, not passive. Show them our strength before they can strike." Soldiers ran through the citadel corridors, carrying weapons, ammunition, and equipment. Engineers adjusted turret angles and recalibrated the energy shields to respond faster. Every human inside the fortress worked with precision and determination. They trusted their princess because she had proven that humans, even when outnumbered, could outthink and outmaneuver their enemies. The alien reinforcements approached rapidly, their ships cutting through the clouds like silver arrows. Alara watched carefully. Each ship followed the familiar patterns of alien tactics, predictable and rigid. That predictability was the humans' advantage. "Prepare the decoys," Alara ordered. "We will make them think the northern ridge is lightly defended. Set the traps along the eastern valley. They will take the bait, and we will strike at the right moment." The soldiers moved quickly, following her precise instructions. Large holographic decoys were deployed, simulating human troop formations. Mines and traps were placed where the aliens were expected to advance. Automated turrets, hidden among the rocks, were calibrated to target specific energy signatures. Everything was designed not just to stop the aliens, but to mislead them, to make them underestimate human ingenuity. When the first alien ships descended into the valley, they believed they had found an easy target. Their dropships landed troops who advanced confidently, expecting little resistance. That confidence was their mistake. Mines exploded under their feet, automated turrets fired with accuracy, and energy nets lifted soldiers into the air, immobilizing them instantly. Chaos spread among the alien troops as they struggled to understand what had gone wrong. Alara's voice came through the communication channels, calm and commanding. "Hold your positions. Do not overextend. Let them fall into our traps. Remember, humans adapt. We learn from every move our enemies make. They will not control us here." The human soldiers followed her orders flawlessly. Even when under heavy fire, they remained disciplined and strategic. Every move they made was calculated, every action reinforcing their advantage. The aliens were forced to retreat in disarray, their formations broken. Despite the initial success, Alara knew the battle was far from over. She turned her attention to the alien command ships hovering in orbit. Those ships were the true threat, coordinating attacks and supplying troops. If the humans could disrupt their command, the aliens' advantage would crumble entirely. "We need to target their communications," she said. "Deploy the orbital disruption pods. They will interfere with the enemy signals long enough for us to gain control of the battlefield." Every second counts. Engineers and scientists moved quickly to deploy the pods. The devices activated, sending pulses into space that disrupted alien communications. Confusion spread across the fleet. Troops on the ground lost coordination, ships in orbit hesitated, and the human soldiers took advantage of the chaos. Meanwhile, scouts reported another development. An elite alien unit was attempting a covert attack from the northern cliffs. Alara's mind raced. She could not let them reach the citadel. "Divert a squad to intercept," she ordered. "Use the terrain to your advantage. Force them into the open where our turrets can target them. Remember, humans are strongest when we use intelligence over brute force." The squad moved swiftly, using the rocks and cliffs as cover. They waited patiently for the alien unit to appear, striking only when they were in the perfect position. Traps, combined with precise fire, disabled the intruders without giving them a chance to advance. The elite unit was captured, not destroyed, for Alara knew that even enemies could provide valuable insight. Hours passed with a relentless cycle of attacks, counterattacks, and strategic maneuvers. Yet through it all, the humans never wavered. They adapted constantly, turning every new alien strategy into an opportunity to demonstrate human ingenuity. Soldiers learned from each encounter, improvising solutions, repairing damaged defenses quickly, and anticipating enemy moves before they happened. Alara walked among her troops, encouraging them, correcting errors, and praising clever tactics. Her calm presence and unwavering determination inspired every human in the citadel. Even when fatigue set in, they found strength in her confidence. A report came in from the scouts. Distant human fleets were moving closer, responding to the call for aid. They were small, hastily organized groups, but their arrival would bolster the humans' strength and morale. Alara allowed herself a brief smile. Hope was spreading among human colonies. Word of their defiance was inspiring others to join. Still, the aliens were relentless. They attempted a coordinated strike on multiple fronts, sending waves of troops and energy blasts toward the citadel. Alara studied their movements, identifying weaknesses. "Split the forces," she instructed Joran. "Divide their attention. Let some push forward while others are lured into traps. Humans succeed because we think ahead. Remember, every action must serve a purpose." The human soldiers executed her plan flawlessly. Troops lured alien squads into deadly ambushes, where energy nets, mines, and turrets neutralized them. Other squads attacked directly, taking advantage of disoriented enemies. The aliens struggled to adapt, their rigid thinking and reliance on numbers proving ineffective against human creativity. In the midst of the chaos, Alara noticed a ship attempting a flanking maneuver far to the south. It moved quickly, intending to land troops behind the citadel. "We cannot allow them to circle us," she said. "Divert units to intercept. Use everything we have, speed, traps, terrain. We must control the battlefield, not let them control us." The intercepting squad raced toward the south, using narrow passes and rocky hills for cover. They waited patiently until the alien flanking ship entered a kill zone, then struck with coordinated precision. Mines detonated, automated turrets fired, and energy nets immobilized the soldiers as they tried to land. Once again, the humans' careful planning and adaptability proved superior. As the day wore on, the alien fleet began to falter. Their confidence was shaken, and their attacks were less coordinated. Human soldiers were still vigilant, but the pressure had shifted. For the first time, the aliens realized that they were not facing a mere colony. They were facing a civilization that would fight with intelligence, courage, and resilience. Alara knew that victory was still uncertain, but the morale of the humans was growing. They had survived the night, repelled attacks, and adapted to every strategy the aliens had thrown at them. Even small victories, such as capturing elite units and repelling flanking maneuvers, reinforced the idea that humans could never be underestimated. During a brief lull, she gathered her senior officers. "We have proven that humans can survive against impossible odds," she said. "But we cannot stop. The enemy will continue to test us, and we must continue to adapt." Every soldier, every engineer, every scientist here has shown courage and ingenuity. That is what makes us human. That is our greatest weapon. Joran nodded. "Your Highness, the scouts report that our reinforcements are only a few hours away. They will bring additional troops, supplies, and ships. Once they arrive, we can consider taking the fight beyond the citadel, perhaps even strike at the enemy fleet directly." Alara's mind raced with possibilities. "We must be ready. Until then, we hold, we adapt, and we fight. Our enemies believe they can overwhelm us. Let them see that humans are unpredictable, creative, and unyielding. Every attack they make against us strengthens our knowledge and sharpens our strategy." As the day turned toward evening, the alien fleet regrouped for another assault. The humans were prepared, their positions reinforced, and their morale high. Soldiers moved confidently, executing complex maneuvers with precision. Engineers monitored energy shields and turrets, ready to adjust at a moment's notice. Every human acted as if the citadel were not just a fortress, but a living organism, responding intelligently to threats. The aliens launched their attack, striking from multiple directions. Yet every move was anticipated and countered. Mines, traps, and energy nets slowed them. Automated turrets targeted their troops with precision. The human soldiers adapted to every change, learning, improving, and exploiting weaknesses in alien formations. Alara stood on the observation deck, her eyes unwavering. She saw the alien commanders struggling to maintain control. They had underestimated humans, as they always did, and that mistake was costing them dearly. Even as the battle raged, the humans remained united, resilient, and determined. By the time night fell again, the alien attacks had slowed. Their numbers were still overwhelming, but their confidence had been shattered. They retreated, regrouping in orbit and at distant landing zones. The humans had survived the day, and their morale was higher than ever. Alara looked at the horizon, knowing that the fight was far from over. But for the first time, she saw hope, not just for Vera 9, but for all humanity. Humans had shown their strength, courage, and ingenuity. They had proven that even when surrounded, they could endure. And with reinforcements arriving soon, the tide of battle might begin to turn. "Prepare for tomorrow," she told her officers. "We have held them today, we will hold them again, and we will continue to show the galaxy that humans never retreat." As the stars blinked above, the humans of Vera 9 rested, but not idly. They repaired, reinforced, and prepared. Each soldier knew that their courage and intelligence were their greatest weapons. Each engineer, each scientist understood that every innovation, every strategy, could save lives and turn the battle in their favor. And Princess Alara, calm and determined, remained the guiding force, ensuring that humanity would stand unbroken. no matter how many enemies surrounded them. The first light of dawn spread slowly across Vera 9, casting long shadows over the jagged cliffs and the citadels. Gleaming walls. The night had been quiet, but no one in the citadel relaxed. Princess Alara walked through the command corridors, her eyes sharp, her mind sharper. After 2 days of relentless attacks, the humans had held their ground. The alien fleet was still out there regrouping, but Alara knew that victory was not just about surviving. It was about turning the tide. Commander Joran approached, his face tired but resolute. "Your Highness, our scouts report the main alien fleet preparing for a full-scale assault. They are combining every force they have, and they intend to break through our walls today." Alara studied the holographic projection of the battlefield. Hundreds of ships and thousands of alien troops were moving into attack positions. Their formations were more disciplined than before, but she could see cracks in their coordination. Humans had observed, learned, and adapted. "Then we must act first," she said calmly. "We cannot wait for them to strike. Prepare the fleet for a counteroffensive. If we take the initiative, we can dictate the flow of the battle." Engineers, pilots, and soldiers sprang into action. Small human fleets, hastily reinforced by reinforcements from neighboring systems, moved into position. Supplies were distributed, energy shields optimized, and troops briefed. Alara walked among them, offering encouragement. "Courage is not the absence of fear," she said. "It is the decision to act despite it. Remember, humans are strongest when we think, when we plan, and when we act together." The alien fleet moved closer, their ships glowing with deadly energy. They assumed that humans, even with clever tactics, would retreat before overwhelming numbers. They were wrong. Alara gave the signal. Human ships moved forward in unison, forming unpredictable patterns to confuse enemy targeting systems. Orbital bombardments were calculated with precision, focusing on supply lines and command ships. The aliens fired back, their energy beams cutting through space, but humans adapted, using shields and evasive maneuvers. On the ground, the Citadel's defenses remained strong. Automated turrets, energy grids, and hidden traps continued to repel alien landing parties. Every human soldier knew their role. Every engineer, every scientist, every fighter worked as part of a coordinated plan. The alien commanders had underestimated the human ability to combine intellect, courage, and teamwork. A scout approached Alara urgently. "Your Highness, a group of elite alien soldiers is attempting a direct assault on the Citadel's main gate. They are fast and heavily armed. If they reach the control room, it could disable our defenses." Alara nodded. "We anticipated this. Prepare the countermeasures, divert them into the trap zone, use the energy nets, mines, and turrets. Focus on precision, not force. Humans succeed because we think ahead, not because we are stronger." The elite alien soldiers advanced, confident and ruthless. But as they entered the trap zone, every device activated perfectly. Mines detonated, sending them into the air. Energy nets immobilized them. Turrets targeted weak points in their armor. The humans had prepared, anticipated, and outthought their enemies once again. Alara watched from the observation deck, her mind always several steps ahead. She knew that the final victory depended not only on repelling attacks, but on striking decisively. She turned to Joran. "We must disrupt their command ships, target the leaders. Without them, the rest will falter." Human ships moved with calculated precision, striking at the alien command vessels. Missiles and energy pulses disrupted communications, causing confusion among enemy troops. The alien formations wavered. Some ships retreated, others fired blindly, and their troops on the ground hesitated. The tide was turning. Alara allowed herself a brief smile. Humans had proven that intelligence, courage, and creativity could match raw power, but she knew the battle was not over. The aliens were formidable, and their desperation made them unpredictable. Suddenly, alarms blared. A massive alien ship, larger than any other, appeared on the horizon. It was heavily armed, moving directly toward the Citadel. The humans had no chance of stopping it in a direct fight. Alara's mind raced. She studied the battlefield carefully, searching for a weakness. Then she saw it, a blind spot in the alien ship's energy shielding just behind its main command module. "Prepare a focus strike," she ordered. "We cannot destroy it entirely, but we can disable it. Aim for the command module, every second counts." Human ships moved swiftly, forming a coordinated attack pattern. Missiles and energy beams struck precisely at the weak point. The alien ship shuddered under the focused assault, its weapons momentarily offline. Troops on the ground paused, unsure of their orders. Chaos spread through the enemy ranks. Seizing the moment, Alara directed the human fleet to press the attack. Smaller groups of alien ships were forced to retreat, their formations broken. The human soldiers on the ground advanced, pushing alien troops back toward their landing zones. Every maneuver was carefully planned, every strike executed with precision. Hours passed as the battle raged across sky and land. The aliens threw everything they had at the humans, but each attack was countered with intelligence and creativity. Every new tactic by the enemy was anticipated and neutralized. Human morale soared while alien confidence crumbled. Alara moved constantly among her people, encouraging them, observing weaknesses, and giving instructions. Her presence inspired courage. Even soldiers exhausted from days of fighting pushed forward, knowing that their leader had faith in them. Humans were proving that spirit and intellect were as powerful as any weapon. As the sun began to set, the alien forces were in full retreat. Their ships moved chaotically, trying to regroup, while their ground forces scattered, unable to maintain cohesion. The humans had not only survived but had taken the initiative, turning defense into offense. Alara stood on the observation deck, her eyes on the horizon. She knew the battle was won, but the war was far from over. Humanity had proven that they could survive against impossible odds, but there were other threats in the galaxy, waiting for the moment to challenge them again. She turned to Joran, who stood beside her, weary but proud. Today, we have shown the galaxy that humans are not easily defeated. Our courage, our intelligence, and our unity have proven stronger than fear or force. The enemy has learned that underestimating us is a mistake they will not forget. Joran bowed slightly. Your Highness, the troops are celebrating their victory, but they are also preparing for whatever comes next. Your leadership has inspired them beyond measure. Alara nodded. Then we will rebuild, reinforce, and remain vigilant. Every victory is only meaningful if it teaches us something and prepares us for the future. We have survived today, but tomorrow may bring new challenges. And when it does, humans will stand ready. The night sky over Vera 9 was filled with the quiet hum of human ships and the faint glow of repaired defenses. Soldiers moved along the walls, repairing, reinforcing, and preparing for the next day. Engineers and scientists monitored energy shields and weapons, making adjustments to improve efficiency. Even as humans celebrated, they remained vigilant. They had learned that survival required constant adaptation and intelligence. Alara walked among her people one last time that evening. Soldiers saluted, scientists smiled, and engineers nodded in respect. They had witnessed the power of human courage and ingenuity firsthand. They had seen how a princess, calm and fearless, could inspire a civilization to hold against impossible odds. In the quiet of the command room, Alara reflected on the battle. The humans of Vera 9 had faced a massive, well-armed enemy and emerged victorious. They had relied not on raw strength, but on intelligence, courage, and unity. Every soldier, every engineer, every scientist had contributed to the triumph, and yet she knew that this was only the beginning. The galaxy was vast, and threats were never far away. Humans had survived wars, disasters, and challenges on countless worlds, and they would survive again. But the true strength of humanity was not just in weapons or technology. It was in the mind, the spirit, and the will to never give up. Alara looked out the window at the stars, her mind already planning for the future. "We have won today," she whispered. "But we will remain ready for tomorrow. Humanity will endure, adapt, and rise. No matter how many enemies surround us, we will never retreat." That is who we are. The night deepened, and the humans of Vera 9 rested, but not idly. They repaired their defenses, trained, and prepared for whatever might come next. Each soldier, each engineer, each pilot knew that their courage and intelligence were their greatest weapons. Each action, no matter how small, contributed to the survival of their people. As dawn approached on the next day, Princess Alara stood once more on the observation deck, watching the horizon. The alien fleet was far away now, regrouping and reconsidering their approach. Humans had proven their strength, but Alara knew that vigilance was essential. They would need courage, strategy, and unity in the battles to come. Yet for now, the Citadel was safe. Humanity had survived. They had adapted, fought, and triumphed against overwhelming odds. And under the calm, determined guidance of Princess Alara, the people of Vera 9 had proven to the galaxy that humans were not to be underestimated. The stars above twinkled like distant fires, a silent witness to human courage. And as the first rays of sunlight touched the walls of the citadel, the humans stood tall, united, and unbroken. Princess Alara smiled faintly, knowing that the legend of humanity's endurance would continue to grow. Humans had faced their greatest test and emerged victorious. They had demonstrated that courage, intelligence, and unity could overcome even the most formidable enemies. And in the vast, unexplored reaches of the galaxy, the story of the humans of Vera 9 would inspire others for generations to come. With the alien fleet in retreat and the citadel secure, Alara looked forward to the future. There would be more challenges, more battles, and more tests of human ingenuity. But humanity had shown that no matter how many enemies surrounded them, they would never retreat. They would endure, adapt, and rise again, and that, she knew, was the true strength of being human. The human princess was surrounded by enemies, yet she never retreated.